Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Belfield talking to some of the biggest stars in the world and some of my favourite people. And a man who shot to fame last year on America's Got Talent is Mat Franco. He's here at the Link in Vegas with his own show. How are you?
I'm doing great. That was a heck of an intro.
Well, it is remarkable for a guy who is just a kid in his bedroom doing magic to one day get your own show in Las Vegas and then have $1 million in the bank for winning America's Got Talent. It's quite a story.
It's strange, yeah. It's something I never expected, never asked for, never meant to happen. I mean, sure, I went and auditioned for the show, but I was just hoping to get some video footage. For real. I certainly never guessed that I would even go to the next round and then voted through over and over again to ultimately win the show. That was just completely surreal for me. The biggest epiphany I could have had.
You've got a warmth and a charm about you. That plays a big part. If you look at Paul Zerdin, who won, I hear the girls talking. They're not really interested in the puppets. Oh, he's nice. They do like a nice bit of trouser, don't they?
Bit of trouser. That's a funny expression.
You've never heard that? A nice bit of trouser. It's something I've never been described as, by the way. Deeply unattractive.
Come on. You've heard it a couple of times.
Only when I'm paying. But no, it does help, doesn't it? Charm and warmth is part of the key to being successful.
Yeah, for me, it's I mean, I suppose all of those things are part of a full package, I guess is what they call it. And for me, it's about connecting with the audience. So whether you're, we've seen a lot of different types of variety acts win here in America anyway, with America's Got Talent. We've seen really a big variety. Sometimes they're like old ladies, or sometimes the ones who go really far could be like a homeless man who plays the guitar and sings really well. You see a lot. So I think with that show it really is different because you have it's apples and oranges. How can you compare magic with comedy and music? It's just so much. It's a culmination. It's just you never know who's going to vote for what. So I'm just happy it turned out the way it did.
Have you analysed why you were the one that made it to the final and ultimately took the prize?
I've thought about it, and I guess ultimately the simple answer is it just comes down to who people vote for. But then you get deeper. Why do people vote, and why do they vote for who? And I think it's a matter of connecting with the audience. That's what it is for me. With magic, sometimes people go on the defensive. When someone's going to do magic, they feel like, oh, you're going to steal my watch, you're going to steal my wallet. That's not my style. So what I try to do is connect with people and bring them in instead of push them out.
It's an incredible life you've had, and at 27 years old to be sat here talking to me about your own show in Vegas must be living the dream. I guess for any magician, this is it. This is what you all want, a show in Vegas.
I suppose. For me, it was just a matter of wanting to do what I love to do for a living. So, I thought I had made it, quote unquote, years ago when I was just doing acts for colleges all across the country, driving around from place to place and doing my little one-man show. That was it for me. And I was just thinking about, wow, I wonder how long I can stay young enough to the point where this isn't creepy to be going to college campuses and doing shows for college kids. And little did I know that it would sort of, I had blinders on. I didn't know there was so much more opportunity out there that would be available to me. So Vegas was never even in my radar until it was literally offered to me as a result of everything I was doing.
I guess to have your own showroom, you can have a relatively normal life.
That is true. The quality of life is different because now I can literally just walk in, 20 minutes before a show, go on, do it, and then leave after the show and not have to travel 12 hours to get to the next gig. It's a 10-minute commute instead. So again, wasn't on my radar, but it is amazing because on the road it can be tough, especially, at the level I was doing it, it's not glamorous travel. It was me landing, renting a car, and then driving more hours forever to get to where I had to go to these middle of the nowhere areas. To get to the colleges that were willing to have me.
We should talk about your act. You're not going for the big, explosive, mega illusion shows that there are many of here in Las Vegas. You're doing more intimate magic. That's deliberate. That's something you always wanted to do. You didn't want to saw a woman in half. You wanted to do intimate card tricks.
I wanted to do something that just hadn't been done. Something that was sort of, I guess people call it a gutsy approach, but I never thought of it that way. Even on America's Got Talent, people thought my approach was gutsy because in previous seasons it always had been about whoever has the biggest box in the next round. Make it bigger, make it better. And my approach was pretty much the exact opposite, and not worrying about the size of anything. Whether it's big or small, as long as it has the illusion of scale and I'm connecting with people was the point. But here in Vegas, like you said,
stand back, by the way.
we have
This
so
thing is
many of
totally
those
safe, but stand back. Don't believe what they said about last night. That's
illusion
not
type
true.
things. I mean, that's what people expect.
Totally safe.
So yes,
Watch
it's
what
weird
happens
that
when I
I'm
turn
giving
the knob.
people the opposite of what they expect, but I hope they agree with you that it's refreshing and different. But really what I'm doing, it wasn't so much deliberate to be different, it was just deliberate to do
You like the
what
sound of that?
I enjoy doing and what's true to me.
All right.
Reinventing
Don't
Magic
push it yet.
Nightly
Okay,
is the
I'm
name of
trusting
the
you. Just hold
show.
on to it,
How do
okay?
you reinvent magic?
Trusting you
Because
because
let's
you're 12
face
years
it,
old now.
you've either
All
got to
right.
make somebody
What we're gonna do is
disappear,
the
chop
audience
somebody
is
in
gonna
half,
count down with
be a
us from
smart
5,
ass and make
4,
the
3,
car
2, 1. When we
reappear.
get to 1,
It's
then
a
we'll say
difficult
fire. So it's gonna
task,
go
isn't
5,
it,
4,
to
3, 2,
reinvent
1,
magic?
fire.
Yeah,
When we
it's
say
totally
fire, that's when you
difficult,
push the button.
and we call
We're
the
gonna
show
go
that
out
for a
of this
couple
thing
of
with a
reasons.
bang,
One,
okay?
as you can imagine, the main reason is that the ending of the show
5.
does change every night. It's never the same. I tell a story at the end of the show without giving too much away. There's no way that I can tell that story the same way twice. And that's what I mean by reinvented. In terms of reinventing magic in the other sense of sort of pushing the art forward, to me, right, there are only several basic effects that we can achieve. Things can appear, disappear, levitate, restore themselves after they've been torn, whatever. There are a few effects that we're all dealing with, and it's how you frame them. So what I try to do is frame all of these different types of effects in ways that I feel make people care about what we're doing. So it's not just tricks. I like to add another layer, so I like to add a story to it, whether that's to make people have an emotional impact or make it funny or just something that's an extra layer to give people a reason to care. Because if it's just trick after trick after trick, how many times can you just say, wow, how did you do that? Wow, how did you do that? I want there to be a range of emotions other than just that. How did you do that is just one small part of it, I hope.
What's the magic community like here? I mean, it can be incredibly competitive and bitchy, and even already some have said that you've stolen this or borrowed that. Do you take all that on your chin and think, just get on with it, let's all just compete for an audience and the longest survivor will be the winner?
I never think of it as a competition whatsoever. I'm just doing what I do. I know that it benefits everyone. It doesn't matter if you're a magician or a comedian or music. It benefits everyone involved to differentiate whatever I'm doing from whatever they're doing as much as possible. You know, brand-wise, magic-wise, all of the above. So to me, I worry a lot less about what other people do or say and focus on the crazy things that I want to try to make come to fruition.
And again, the blessing of TV and national exposure is just brilliant. I mean, a full audience tonight, that's so rare in this town. I mean, there are people giving away free tickets to get an audience in. That's a great thrill and an advantage, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing to see how good business has been. I'm so shocked
For a
with
sunny
how
day, they were
awesome
hoping.
Vegas audiences have
And
been.
that was because they
Vegas
had
is the
jobs
type
that
of
they
place where
loved,
people
playing
can make
tennis
last-minute decisions to buy
at the
tickets to a
US
show because there are so many
Open.
awesome shows here. So I wasn't sure how enthusiastic those types of audiences would be.
Two of
And wow,
hearts.
they're just
Well,
some
so
of the
close.
best I've ever had.
What did
really,
you
really
have?
awesome. Business
Two of hearts,
has
jack
been
of spades,
so much
and
fun and so good.
five of
And yeah, I
diamonds.
think I
Give
owe
me one
much of
chance to
that
make
to
this
not just
right.
America's
Those
Got
of you
Talent,
on
but I mean,
stage
I just
might wanna
also
take a
did a
step
2-hour special on NBC here in
closely.
the States, and wow, what a fun process that was. And I do think it makes people
you
want
have
to
to
see
do
it
is cover
live. They
that
watch it
glass.
on
That glass,
TV
of
and
course,
think,
becomes a
oh,
bottle.
wow, this
That
can't be
bottle
really
then becomes,
happening.
of course, the
But
full
that's why I make
glass.
sure the stuff
But
that
in
you see
order
on the
to do it
TV,
that way,
I
you
also
have
play
to
the
have
hits
an
here
extra
live and in
bottle
person.
Here. If you
I
have
love
one
your
there, you gotta have
courage.
one
When
there.
I
And if
sat
you're
in my
gonna use
chair
one there, you
tonight,
gotta
there was a
have one
guy in
there,
the
and
audience
that's
who was so
just too many
drunk, and I
bottles.
seriously
We'll
wondered
be
whether he was going to
having
ruin
fun
your
all
entire
night.
show. I guess you've seen it all before.
Stand right over
Yeah,
here.
I mean, let me tell
me
you,
show what
performing for
happens.
drunk
Just stand
people,
back,
not
by
always
the way. This
easy,
thing
but
is
I come
totally
from the
safe.
college
Just stand
circuit,
back.
my
Don't believe what
friends.
they said about last
You
night.
know,
That's
I
not
have
true.
years of it under the belt. In fact, that's
Totally
where
safe.
I,
Watch what
paid my
happens when I turn
dues.
the
Not to
knob.
say that I'm not still paying them. You know, I always try to make things better as much as possible and perform as much as possible. But yeah, that's where my experience comes prior to this. As soon as I
You like the
finished
sound of
college,
that?
I did magic full time
All right.
for that
Don't
audience.
push it
So
yet.
I've
Okay, I'm
seen
trusting you. Just hold on to
everything
it,
from
right?
really awesome, enthusiastic
because you're 12 years
audiences
old
on
now.
college
All right.
campuses to
What we're gonna
40
do
to
is the
50
audience is
students in
gonna
a
count
small
down with
dining
us
hall
from
when you have
5,
a
4,
stage
3,
that's
2,
6
1. When we
inches
get
off
to
the
1, then
ground,
we'll
if
say
that, or
fire.
no
So
stage
it's
at
gonna go
all.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
And
fire.
you really
When we
have
say
to.
fire,
Sometimes
that's when
the
you
audience
push
wasn't
the
even there
button.
to see
We're gonna
you.
go out of
They
this
were
thing
there
with a
to
bang,
go get
okay?
a snack and
Are
a
you
sandwich,
ready?
and there you are. They just throw you out
Five.
there to do 60 minutes of material for people who don't even want to watch. So you learn really fast how to captivate the audience. And sometimes those are some of the most fun shows when you get everyone on board because you have to work for it.
I mean, we look at the audience, and you did a bit with one of the guys who put some cards down his trousers. The audience just love it, don't they?
Yeah, and that flight time that I talked about is part of what helps you be able to roll with those punches. And that's part of Reinvented too. I mean, we really never know what the audience is going to do, because I think what we're doing here involves much more audience participation than the typical show, even typical magic show, because I don't want people to be sitting watching. I want them to sort of be part of it, and that's why I have so many people come up throughout the show, and that's why I spend so much time even in the house with the crowd. So yeah, when a guy takes cards and shoves them down his pants, you gotta be in that moment. You can't just phone it in at that point. No way. You have to be able to respond to it, no matter what it is that he's doing, even if it's that.
Question I've asked many winners of X Factor and Britain's Got Talent and America's Got Talent, Terry Fator across the street, I asked him the same question. How do you keep your nerve when the whole nation's tuning in, it's the final, you've got 4 judges watching you who are going to decide your future. If you're second, you're going to be forgotten quickly. If you win, you're going to be made. How do you keep your nerve?
I think it has something to do with the fact that you don't have a choice. There's no turning back at that point. There's nothing else you can do. You can't just withdraw. I mean, I suppose you could, but I obviously would never do that. Once you get voted through, even though I said I just was there to hopefully get video footage, then you get this syndrome here, you know, they give you a little bit, you get a taste of what it means to go to the next round, and it's like, well, I gotta try to go through again, you know, and you keep saying that over and over, and you just find yourself, I will tell you, there are sleepless nights, you are just constantly thinking about it. It's life-consuming for the entire period. At least it was for me, the entire period of being on the show. But what
for a sunny day,
fun,
they were
awesome
hoping.
experience, and
that
sort
was
of a
because they had
once-in-a-lifetime
jobs that they loved,
thing that
playing
could happen to
tennis
you. So I embraced it.
at the
But
US
when I went back as a guest this
Open.
year, and you know, saw some of the contestants and gave them some words of encouragement, I certainly
Two
didn't
hearts.
envy their
So
envy their
close.
position, because
What did you have?
oh, it's just
Two
it was
hearts, Jack of
really
spades,
nice
and
to be there
five
and
of
not have to worry
diamonds.
about being voted off.
Give me one
Oh,
chance to
it's
make this right.
nerve-wracking.
Those
As
of you
an
on stage might want
experience,
to take
do
a
they
step
treat
back.
you well?
Yeah,
Watch
you know, it
closely.
really was for me, and you know, you'll hear mixed reviews from contestants. Some are more divas than others,
you
but
have to
for
do is
me,
cover that glass. That
I
glass, of course,
just felt so
becomes a
like
bottle.
thankful to
That bottle
have.
then
Once you
becomes,
get to
of
the
course,
live
the
shows,
full
I was so
glass.
thankful to have a
But
team
in
of
order to
people.
do it
They're
that
people.
way,
They're
you have to
producers
have
that
an
are
extra
the
bottle
best in
here.
the business.
If you have one there, you
It's
gotta
a
have
huge
one
show.
there, and if
You
you're
know,
gonna
it's
use
the number
one there,
one
you gotta
summer
have
show
one there, and that's just
So
too
when
many
you're working with
bottles.
the lighting
We'll be
guy
having fun all
and the director
night.
of the show and the props department, chances are
Stand
they
right
are the
over here.
best
Let
at
me
what
show
they
you
do.
what
That's
happens.
why they
Just
work
stand back,
for
by the way. This
America's
thing is
Got
totally
Talent.
safe, but stand
So
back.
for
Don't believe
me,
what they
coming
said
from a
about last
background
night.
of just
That's not
doing
true,
everything
okay?
myself,
Totally
it was
safe.
like a dream come
Watch what
true
happens when I
to
turn
actually
it
have
on.
other people involved to make these crazy ideas come to fruition. And to me, like, the tricks aren't what's so important. You know, if people perceive magic to be that way, but for me, it's all in the presentation and the fun.
You like the sound of
and
that?
the story that you get you
All right.
along the way. Like,
Don't
sure,
push it
if
yet.
you're
Okay,
watching
I'm
a
trusting
movie
you.
and
Just
you
hold
see
on
the
to it,
boom
okay?
come in and you see the microphone
me
at the
because
top,
you've
it
told
doesn't
me.
ruin the whole
All right.
story, but it does take you out of the
What we're gonna
moment
do
for a
is the
minute.
audience is
I
gonna
think
count
magic
down
can be
with
the
us
same
from
way.
5,
You know, if
4,
you see
3,
something
2,
you're
1.
not
When we get
supposed
to
to
1, then
see,
we'll say fire. So it's gonna go
it doesn't
5,
ruin
4,
the
3, 2,
whole
1, fire.
plot line.
When we say
But
fire,
it takes
that's
you out
when
of the
push
moment
the
for a
button.
second, and we
We're
don't
gonna go
want
out of
that.
this thing with a
And then you log on
okay?
to your bank
Are you
account and
ready?
you see this amount of money arrive.
5.
How does that feel?
That was interesting because the money aspect of it was something, again, wasn't on there to win. I never even considered that a possibility. So when it was like, after I had won, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I won money with this too. It's so funny because after I won, and I thought of that, I was like, wow, I guess, you know, I canceled a lot of gigs to continue well, every time I'd get voted through, I'd have to pick up the phone and be like, guys, I'm sorry, I got voted through to the next round. I never thought this would happen, but like, I can't come to Kansas tomorrow, next week. I'm so sorry, but we will reschedule. So I was thinking about, oh man, I feel bad. I'm losing all this money from these gigs. But then I realized, oh no, I got this cash prize coming to me. I guess it's all okay. But I'm not really materialistic. So like, people always ask me, what was the first thing you bought? I didn't buy anything. Like, I have the same car I had since before.
Okay, this is ridiculous. Back up a minute. So there's $1 million in your bank account and you don't treat yourself to anything.
Nothing. I've always said, people have asked me that right away after the win, and they said, what are you going to do? And I said, oh, I'll go on a vacation. I have not had the time for that yet. I would like to do that at some point, but man, it just hasn't happened yet.
So you've not treated yourself to the big showbiz house. You say you drive the same car.
Yeah, I do.
Well, what's the point? I mean, you might as well give it to me. I could enjoy it. I could go on holiday.
Yeah, I mean, I like to. It's nice to just not have to be concerned about money all the time and how many gigs you have this week and what's coming up, and it's not this paycheck to paycheck sort of lifestyle, which is awesome, and it just gives you that comfort that I think we all want, you know, that we all feel good about. So that to me is really great enough. So just to sort of not have to be so concerned. But yeah, and it's also nice to know, like, if there is something that comes along that's like that I wouldn't have been able to have otherwise, it'd be nice to be able to obtain it. But again, material things aren't necessarily what, like, you know, I thrive off of. You know, to me, I feel like I can have fun in a cardboard box by myself.
And that was
like,
because they had jobs that they loved, playing tennis.
You know, hand me a deck of cards and I'll sit and be entertained for an hour, or hours, or even just a cheap guitar, and I'll have fun because I use music as a hobby. You know, once magic becomes your full-time thing, it's nice to have a hobby that you're allowed to be bad at, because it's not a professional thing.
Five of
Try and put it in the show just to remind people that you can't be 100%
stage might want to take a step
I
back.
put my bad guitar playing in the show.
20-minute section. Something like that.
I wonder how that would go over.
Let's do it tomorrow and let me know. And then we look at the fact your name's now above the theatre and people are coming to see you instead of you're going to see them.
But in order to
that
do
is
it
the
that way,
showbiz dream.
you have
I
to
think
have
so.
an extra
I didn't know
bottle
that
here.
until
If you have
I
one
started
there, you
doing
gotta
it.
have
But
one
yeah,
there.
I think
And
it
if you're
is.
gonna use one
Humbling,
there,
isn't
you
it, to
gotta
think
have one
people
there,
have gone
and
to
that's
work,
just too many
they've spent
bottles.
8 hours earning
We'll
money,
be
and
having
now they're
fun
going to give it
all
to
night.
you for 90 minutes.
It's absolutely crazy. So
Stand
I will.
right over
I
here.
try to.
Let me
That's
show
one
you
of the
what
reasons I
happens.
try to
Just
give them
stand
the
back,
best
by the
I've
way.
got
This thing is
each
totally
night because
safe.
they
Just
deserve
stand back.
that.
Don't believe
They
what
don't
they said
deserve
about
to
last
hear
night.
my
That's not
guitar
true.
playing. But maybe next time you
Totally
come
safe.
back,
Watch
I'll
what
put it in
happens when I
there
turn it
just to
on.
hear you bash it in the interview afterwards.
I look forward to that. That would be brilliant. Let's review then. I mean, you're 27 years old. You're a good-looking lad. You've got $1 million in the bank. Does life
You
get
like
any
the sound
better?
of
Look
that?
at this face. I mean, imagine being me,
All
how
right.
depressing
Don't
it is,
push
and
it
then
yet.
sat
Okay, I'm
opposite you, and you
trusting
don't
you.
even
Just
buy
hold on
yourself
to
a
it,
new car
okay?
or house. What is
Trusting
wrong with
you
you?
because you're 12 years old.
I don't know
All right?
what's wrong with me. I'm just
What we're
trying to
gonna
put
do is
one
the
foot in
audience is gonna
foot
count
of
down
the
now
other,
from 5,
take
4,
things
3,
one
2,
step
1.
at a
When we get
time.
to
And you
one,
know
then
what?
we'll
I
say
think I
fire.
have
So
that
it's gonna
same
go
curse
5,
that I
4,
had
3,
on the
2,
show.
1, fire. When
On
we say
America's
fire,
Got Talent, like I
that's when
said,
you push the
you get
button.
a little
We're gonna
taste
go
of
out on
one
this thing
thing,
with a
so it's
bang,
like
okay?
you got to
Are
go to
you
the next
ready?
round, and that's the same thing that happens here. It's like, all right, I've got this TV show that I'm producing. All right, got that shot done. Now I got to do this Vegas show. It's like, all right, what's next? How am I going to make this show better? What's going to be new now that we're in the swing of things and we've done X amount of shows because we opened a little bit ago, right? Just a month and a half ago, whatever. Now it's like, all right, getting a little bit comfortable in the routine. What's going to be the next thing I'm going to add to it? What's the next crazy idea to bring into it? So it's always like I have this syndrome where
I get it, but you've got to be very careful with that because you could go through life completely uncontent and then wake up one day at 60 and you've achieved everything and achieved nothing at the same time.
I agree, but at the same time, I'm such a half full person. Like the glass is half full all the time. So it never comes from this place of like, oh, I'm not good enough. It comes from a place of like, oh, it'd be awesome if I could make this better, and that process is going to be fun.
You do get you've made it. You've beaten the odds. You're in Las Vegas. You've got your own showroom. It is full. This might be as good as it gets, and if it is, that's amazing. I mean, you do realise that.
I made it in like 2010, 2011 when I did Magic full time.
So what are we arguing about?
We're not arguing about anything. My point is, it didn't take any of this. Like, the goal, all right, maybe I'm pessimistic. Maybe my goals were so low that I met them so early on.
When you were there, you'd made it, and when you're here, you've made it now. What I'm trying to say to you is you are the inspiration of the magic industry around the world that dream of having a show in Vegas. You have to accept that.
That's very kind. I don't know.
I tell everybody, if you've got a show in Vegas and it's successful and you're not giving away free tickets, you're doing great.
I'm glad and humbled by how well
You're not getting this, are you? I'm trying to explain. You've got $1 million in the bank. Why am I wasting my time with you? I could be talking to somebody who accepts who they are.
I accept who I am. I know what's going on. It's crazy. It's hard to wrap my head around. That's the thing.
Let's do a bit of therapy. Think of me as your Oprah. What more do you want? That's the question I'm asking.
Oh, what more do I want?
You've got NBC specials, you want AGT, the list goes on.
For a sunny day, they
I
were
don't know if
still driving a crappy
And that
car
was
from
because
400
they had
years
jobs
ago,
that
but
they loved,
nevertheless.
playing tennis.
There's
US
nothing more. I want people to continue and to enjoy this, and I want to continue to do projects that creatively excite me.
hearts.
I never have made
So
decisions
close.
based on money or
What
things
did you
like
have?
that. I choose
Two
the
of hearts,
projects
jack
to
of
get
spades,
involved with based
and
on what I'm going to enjoy.
five of diamonds.
So like
me one
all of
chance
the
to make
things
this
that
right.
we call
Those
quote
of you on
unquote
stage might wanna
success that
take a
you're
step
referring
back.
to, which I think the only real measure
Watch
for
closely.
success is happiness.
And are you happy?
So happy, but I'm just a happy-go-lucky guy.
Because you know the
have
great
to do is
Oprah
cover that
Winfrey said
glass.
we
That
don't
glass, of
evolve
course,
as human
becomes a
beings until
bottle.
we're
That
present.
bottle
So
then
as we
becomes,
sit
of course,
here,
the full
you're embracing
glass.
it. That's what I'm
But
trying
in
to
order
ask.
to do
Oh,
it
I'm
that
so
way,
much
you
just
have
in
to
this
have an
chair. I'm not
extra
worried
bottle
about,
here. If
you
you have
know,
one there,
this
you gotta have
interview
one
will be
there.
better
If you're gonna
5
use
years
one
from
there, you gotta
now
have
when
one
I've
there,
achieved
and
this.
that's
I don't think of
too
it that
many
way.
bottles.
Well,
We'll
That
be having
showbiz
fun all
mentality
night.
could all be taken away. It can't be taken away. You've made it.
No, it can. I feel
right
that
over
it can
here.
be.
You've got $1
Let me show you
million
what happens. Just
in
stand
the
back.
bank.
It doesn't
This thing is
matter.
totally
Anything
safe.
could change
Stand
at the
back.
drop
Don't
of a
believe what they
hat.
said
I
about
mean,
last night.
we've seen it a million times.
Crappy 10
Totally
grand
safe.
car. It can't.
That's what happens the next time
Hey,
you're
that's
out.
it. Anything could happen. You never know. We can't plan for tomorrow.
You need to live my life for one day and
Why?
see how miserable it
No,
is.
but well, it's not miserable. For real? How so? I feel like what you do is fun. I actually
You
would
like
love
the
to know
sound of
more
that?
about your
Don't
day-to-day.
Switch it on
All
me.
right.
Let's talk about
Don't
you.
push it
All right,
yet.
we've got to
Okay,
end. We've been
trusting.
talking far too long. I'm getting on my own nerves now. So let's review. Matt Franco's here at the Link in Las Vegas, which is great because you're right in the center of the strip.
Yes, you can't beat the location. It's amazing. It's the new hot spot. It really, really is. It's right in the middle of the strip, Link Hotel and Casino. I'm like proud to be a member of this place, and I love the showroom. You know, it's nice, it's intimate, and
Renovated it for you.
they did. They revamped the whole place, so when you walk in there, if you'd been here before, you won't even recognize it. It's
Oh, I was here before. Don't you worry about that.
You were.
Listen, Matt Franco's here at the Link, and you work. Tell us what nights.
Thursday through Tuesdays.
Any 2 show days?
Saturday, we're doing matinees at 4 o'clock.
So you should. You're in show business. I'd want at least 10 shows a week from you.
We're at 7, but we just got started, so give me some time because I'm not tired yet.
Let me speak to your agent. We can get in probably 15 shows a week if we
Oh.
work at it.
Let's not get too carried away.
Matt Franco's here at the Link. Really lovely to talk to you. Congratulations on everything. If you don't want your million, please send it my way and buy yourself a decent car for Christ's sake.
Yeah, I'll consider
It's
it.
embarrassing going out in some rental car. It's ludicrous.
I'm probably not going to do
You're
it.
a millionaire.
Just give me your address.
What
I'll
are you
send you
doing?
the check.
Stupid. This is silly. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.